Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hat and Beard Show, you guys. What an exciting week we have been having this week, you guys. It is so nice to have a winning record and be sitting on top of the North as a Detroit Lions fan. I am your hostess with the mostest of the Hat and Beard Show, Hat and Beard, where my pronouns are savage and I identify as sexy. With me, as always, is my stiff to the left, B-Rad, my co-host, and Pick'ems extraordinaire, lads and lasses. We've got a great show lined up for you today. We're going to be going through our 5 picks of the week, where I'm going to pick 5 games for you guys. 4, because I'm always going to pick the Lions game. Then we're going to dive into a little bit of news and injury updates from the Detroit Lions coming out of practice. Some good news trending for us moving forward this season. Some players positioned to possibly come back as early as this week. We might see some guys on the field that we've been missing for the past couple weeks, and maybe even a surprise appearance by a unseen guy this entire season. We'll get into that, as well as breaking down the Lions' Week 5 matchup against the Carolina Panthers. So, folks, if you haven't already, go ahead and do me a rock-solid favor. Go ahead and like the video if you enjoy the content so far. Subscribe to the channel if you like what I do around here. And go ahead and ring that notification bell so that you never miss out on any future content or updates from the Hat and Beard Show. You guys, let's get into my top 5 games to watch this week.
Give it to me like...
Alrighty, dighty, here we go, folks. As it sits, we will be using the DraftKings money lines as of time of recording, 12:30 a.m. Wednesday morning. I know it's a little early and those money lines can slide a little bit. Let's get into the first game I want to address. We're going to look at the Thursday night matchup, the Chicago Bears going to D.C. to square off against the Washington Commies. I don't like either team in this matchup. I'm not a commie. I'm not a commie at all, and I don't like rooting for the commies. However, I cannot stand the Chicago Bears. I think that Justin Fields is absolutely hot garbage. We have the Washington Commies favored by 6 in a 44.5-point over-under. I think the game easily clears the over, and I expect the Washington Commies to come out and pound the Chicago Bears directly into the dirt. Go ahead and give me the Commies over the Bears. We're going to take the next game on the docket. Looking right at it, we're going to go Jacksonville, going to be playing host to the Buffalo Bills. And I use that term host because even though they're a road team right now, they are in London, which we all know Jacksonville, their home away from home is in London. They played a game every single year there since the NFL started implementing this international expansion. And Jacksonville was there last week, so they don't have to travel internationally. I know the Bills are coming off a big, big win after the Week 3 performance. Miami put up 70. The Bills decided to say, this is our division, and they dropped 48, only allowing Miami to score 20. This could be a potential trap game for the Buffalo Bills because of the travel situation. But if the Bills do get rolling, we've got a 48.5-point over-under. The Bills are 5.5-point home favorites. I'm going to go with the Bills on this one. I think the Bills, if they get rolling, the Jacksonville Jags cannot keep up with the firepower that is the Buffalo Bills this season. And Buffalo's starting to get on track. Look for them to be rolling red hot come Week 7 at this rate. Go ahead and look at the number 1 o'clock game on our docket, you guys. It is our hometown Detroit Lions coming back from Lambeau after a big Week 4 win on the road. We get to come home for a little bit of home cooking, which will be nice because Weeks 5 and 6 we're on the road. Week 6 and 7 we're on the road. Week 6 we've been flexed out to Fox's game of the week. That'll be a 4:30 kickoff as we travel to Tampa Week 6 to take on the Bucs, and then we go head out east to Baltimore Week 7. So this will be a nice home cooking game for us to get going. Carolina is just not very good across the board. Look, I'm not going to try and knock them. They're all professional athletes, but Bryce Young has been struggling. I think he only averages like 4.4 yards an attempt. Yeah, he had a significantly higher QBR last week than he did the entire season, but he was just dinking and dunking, and it still wasn't enough. I mean, they got beat by the Vikings in week 4. So, Lions, Panthers, 44.5-point over-under with the Lions 9.5-point favorites. Give me the Lions, give me the over, and give me the points because I think the Lions are going to just roll in this game. We will talk more about it in our breakdown of this game in a little bit in the video. Please stick around till then. I genuinely appreciate you cats hanging out with me. The next game I want to look at, because I'm going to be honest with you guys, a lot of these games are kind of duds. I mean, Tennessee and Indianapolis, Cincinnati and Arizona. Philly and the Rams could be entertaining if the Rams come out and, Matt Stafford continues to just throw the ball like a maniac to Tutu Atwell. And, Matt Stafford and his big goofy white teeth. But I don't really care about that game. The Chiefs are going to smash the Vikings. Jets and Broncos, bleh, who cares about that? So let's go ahead and look at the Sunday night primetime game. San Francisco, Christian McCaffrey's playing host to the Dallas Cowboys. And Dallas, although they did have that hiccup 2 weeks ago against the Arizona Cardinals, they really came out and just pounded a not-so-great New England team. It's good to get a get-right game like that. However, this will be a big measuring stick because as it sits right now, you have 2 tiers of teams in the NFC. You have the top tier, which is the San Francisco Christian McCaffreys and the Philadelphia Jalen Hurts with the tush push. And then directly under them in the NFC, you have 2 more teams, and that would be the Detroit Lions and the Dallas Cowboys, fighting for that 3rd overall spot because obviously the record alone, I don't care about the statistics or how good our defense is right now. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. Dallas will be this will be a good measuring stick to see how they stack up against the top tier, as well as San Francisco. If San Francisco comes out and just beats the brakes off the Cowboys and lays the lumber down with CMC, you'll see what we've all been thinking, and that is a clear separation between the 2 tiers of talent between the 2 teams. However, I think the game will be close. Vegas thinks the game is going to be close. We got an over-under of 45, and the San Francisco 49ers 3.5-point home favorites. That's a toughie on the spread right there. I do not like the over, actually. I know San Francisco has been balling out, but Dallas does have a pretty solid defense, and they haven't gone against a guy like Micah Parsons. Now, I don't know. Maybe Micah Parsons isn't fully healthy. He had some ankle issues, and I don't really care about the Cowboys to delve into the information on their team. Dallas could be an actual fight for the 49ers, though. I do like the 49ers in this matchup. I don't like the over, but I do like, a 3.5. That is a iffy, because I can see the 49ers eking out a 3-point victory. I don't see them winning by, say, 10 or 14. So what are you going to win by, a field goal or a touchdown? I think they come out and they win by, give me the touchdown. Go ahead, yeah. So the Niners under plus the points. Let's go ahead. Go 49ers. I'm not a Cowboys fan, you guys. I'm not. I'm sorry. Look, Demo, bro, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, man. I know you love Dak, and I know you have Valerian steel balls, but, bro, the Lions are America's team now, you guys. That's all I got to say about that. And our final game of the week will be, our final pick'ems game of the week will be the Monday night game. The Packers going to travel out west to Vegas to take on the Raiders. The Packers have to come out and try and prove a point. The Raiders have been kind of stagnant this season, though I am a big Mad Max Crosby fan, and I do actually like Josh Jacobs. Jimmy G isn't really my cup of tea, and I cannot stand Josh McDaniel. All that being said, nothing will ever let me root for the Packers in my life. So I don't care that the Las Vegas Raiders are 2.5-point home underdogs, and it's an over-under of 44.5. Go ahead and give me, if the Packers come out flat in the first half, it's going to be kind of tough to maybe hit that 44. Well, no. All right, give me the over 44.5. Maybe this game doesn't have really any defenses, but go ahead and give me the Raiders to win in an upset by 10. 10 on Monday night. Now, before we do get into it, I do want to take one moment to talk about one more game. It's going to not be a real fun game to watch because of the 2 teams that are going to get it, but I do want to go ahead and give a shout out to Houston and Atlanta. I think Houston goes into Atlanta, and the Houston Texans under DeMeco Ryans. Man, I like DeMeco Ryans. You guys know I'm a big fan of the player coaches, man. I think the Houston Texans are going to pick up their 3rd consecutive victory. They're going to pick this up on the road. They're going to the Houston Texans under a rookie head coach with a rookie quarterback. Man, I think the Houston Texans could sneaky move their way into first place in the South. If everything goes their way, I actually like the Texans to go 3-0 the past 4 weeks, or 3-1 the past 4 weeks. So, yeah, that'll be an interesting game, you guys. That'll be a fun one to watch. Well, not a fun one to watch, but I just think Texans will win. So go ahead. We got the Commies over the Bears, the Bills over the Jags, the 49ers over the Cowboys, the Raiders over the Packers, the Lions over the Carolina Panthers, and then in a sneaky little boring game to watch, Houston over Atlanta. You guys, thanks for hanging out for our pick'ems. Let's get into the Lions news and updates. Pow, here we go. Some injury news. As we all know, JMO's suspension was lifted from the NFL. He's been able to return to practice. However, if he wants to play in the game, the Lions have to activate him off the non-exempt or the exempt list. So he'll have to take a roster spot if they want him to play. He could possibly get some run. I don't know. I'm not really going to hold my breath on it. I'd rather see JMO ease his way back into it. I feel like he's got a little bit of maybe some, if things don't go his way, his head might not necessarily be as screwed on as tight as, say, an Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't know. His exposure, the sample size is very, very small with JMO. JMO is back at practice, though, after his suspension has been up. Big Halapaloo Tavati Vaitai, after missing a couple weeks with injury, was back at practice, and it looks like he might be trending to be able to play. And now, if that is the case, that is awesome. I am so happy to see Big V back on the field. Graham Glasgow has played great. I think he's graded out with like a 77 or a 79 Pro Football Focus score over the past couple weeks, which is solid, absolutely solid. I am so happy with the play out of Graham Glasgow. But Halapaloo Tavati Vaitai is that guy, and I'm glad to see him trending back in that direction. Now, if this game turns into a blowout, obviously you want to take him out, let him get a little bit of, less wear and tear on the injury after coming back. But, you guys, I've seen nothing out of the Detroit Lions when it comes to injuries but being safe, calm, and cautious. And if those guys aren't 100% ready to go, like with David Montgomery, we're not going to let them go and necessarily give them a full workload like they deserve, because when you see guys get hurt, we immediately take them off the field, hit them with x-rays, cart them around, make sure that everything is cool, calm, and collected on that player before we even consider putting them back out on the field. So the Lions taking a very cautious approach with our injuries bodes well, meaning that if Hal is back at practice, that's a good sign that he's probably going to be ready to rock and roll. Kirby Joseph, full practice after being gone since the Seattle game. He had a hip injury. And now, being down our two starters at safety, with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson tearing up his pectoral muscle, missing the whole season, and then Kirby Joseph going down in the same game with a hip injury. My hat is off to Tracy Walker and Ifedi Melifonwu for filling in fantastically at the safety positions. We all knew that Tracy Walker could ball and that he had that dog in him. But over the past couple seasons, Ifedi Melifonwu has been taken advantage of by teams randomly. He hasn't been the most solid safety or coverage player in the league. Last 2 weeks, he's played outstanding in fill-in duty for Kirby Joseph. That being said, having Kirby Joseph come back to practice, trending towards probably playing the full gambit of snaps Sunday against Carolina, is such a nice trend upward for our defense. Our defense is already playing well. You add in a coming back healthy now Kirby Joseph, and our defense just gets all the more better, you guys. I am so excited that Kirby Joseph's trending backwards. Or I'm sorry, that Kirby Joseph is trending forward. Oh, I'm probably not even going to edit that out. I don't really care. Some other player knows about some injuries. Taylor Decker was out for he was out for a week against Seattle, I want to say. Maybe. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I feel like he was out. Either way, Taylor Decker missed a game with an injury, came back last week, tweaked it a little bit in the Packers game. However, he's been on a full slate of practice reps. He's been good to go, trending like he's going to play, no restrictions, fully good to go. That is great news for us on the left-hand side, because even though Penny is such a dominant athlete and can play right or left, I would rather see him take over the left-hand side of the tackle position after a full offseason to really integrate himself in over there. Yeah, he can play it just fine, but as of right now, his primary role is being that right side tackle. So that's where all of his mentality is at. Yeah, he's a phenomenal athlete, future gold jacket wearing player. However, I'd prefer to see things progress the way that we spent all offseason training camps and mini camps, preseason. Continue with that plan forward. So Taylor Decker is good, as well as my guy, the guy I've been waiting for all season to return back to the active roster, and that is Emmanuel Mosley. After tearing out his ACL last year, we knew he was going to miss a few games. He possibly could get some limited run. Dan Campbell made the comment that he wants to potentially see what they've got with him, maybe ease him out there, maybe give him 60, 30, 40% of the snaps. I'd rather really ease him in back to it, especially after Jerry Jacobs' big 2-interception performance in prime time last week at Lambeau. So, guys, the whole thing we're here for, previewing the Lions' Week 5 matchup against the Carolina Panthers. There are some storylines that we want to look into here. You guys, now, this offseason, we not only did Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson flirt with head coaching positions, but we also lost Deuce Staley. Deuce Staley went with Frank Reich down to Carolina. So Deuce Staley is now part of the coaching staff in Carolina. Also, Ben Johnson is a Carolina native and interviewed for that head coaching position. So there is 2 coaching storylines going into that right there, as well as DJ Shark looking to maybe get some revenge on the Lions after we did not pay him what he was not worth. DJ Shark has not been missed in our offense. He has not been that impactful to the Carolina just dismal offensive performance this entire season. So DJ Shark possibly coming back. However, look, you guys, what it really boils down to is dating back to the middle of last season, the Lions are 11-3 against the spread. They are one of the most dominant teams in football dating back to the middle of last season. We've been able to maintain our momentum from last year into this year. We also have a little bit of revenge to take out on the Carolina Panthers. You guys, last year when we were turning the ship around, we needed a big win last year in Carolina. And Carolina, led by Sam Darnold, came out and dropped 570 offensive yards on our defense, including 320 rushing yards in a single game. That was a franchise record. We needed that W last year, you guys. We really needed that W to maintain our playoff push, and that was a huge, devastating L that unfortunately took the control of our destiny out of our hands and put it in the hands of other teams, and that's not the position you want to be in. You want to be in control of your own destiny. This year is entirely different. This year, this is going to sound weird to say, this year the Carolina Panthers don't have Sam Darnold. They have Bryce Young. Now, Bryce Young, yeah, Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, first overall pick, all the talent in the world. Not a great rookie season. The Carolina Panthers have no vertical passing game. I don't want to see it come alive against our defense. I don't think that it will. And Ford Field's going to be rocking and rolling. It's going to be a nightmare of a place for the Panthers to play in. The Panthers are going to need to rely on the running game. Unfortunately for the Carolina Panthers, this isn't the Detroit Lions rush defense of last year. In fact, we're on a historic pace right now for our rush defense. The Detroit Lions, after 4 games, come into this game allowing 61 yards a game on the ground. That is unbelievable. So, just like we did to Atlanta, unfortunately. Now, this could all, I'm not saying this is what's going to happen. This could all go wrong for us. But it's not. I just don't see this working out for Carolina so well. I think this is going to go about the same way that the Atlanta game did, where we are going to bottle up their running game. We're going to make a young, inexperienced quarterback utilize his, well, in this case, old, washed-up weapons. Okay, DJ Shark, washed. Adam Thielen, your best years were 4 years ago in Minnesota, my guy. there is no real threat that we need to worry about coming out of the Carolina Panthers offense. That being said, that's exactly how you walk into a trap. I'm hoping that isn't the case, you guys. I think our defense, though, is different this year. Our team is different this year. Obviously, look at the results. We're the same team that ended last year that picked up this year. We still have the same mentality. We're still plugging away. Our offense is clicking. If JMO comes back, look for us to take a couple deep shots with JMO. If not, Monty grinds. Jameer gets a little bit more run. Sam Laporta continues his ascension as an elite tight end. Does Hutch come out and get some more sacks? How many sacks does our defense get, you guys? Comment down below. Carolina's offensive line is not so great, and our defense is 11 sacks in the past 2 weeks. Woohoo! Look out, Bryce Young. So, obviously, the Lions, I think we're going to just absolutely smash on the Carolina Panthers. We got a 44.5 point over-under. What do you guys think the odds are that the Lions put up 35 of those 45 points? Let me ask you this. Does Carolina score more than one touchdown in this game? Comment down below what you guys think. Oh, fellas, I know this is kind of a goofy or weird video. We're still trying to figure it out. I'm just visualizing little Bryce Young out there running around like the Keebler elf that he is, being chased by the Jolly Green Giant that is Hayden Hutchinson. Yo, Lee McNeil's going to flop on him and pancake him, dude. He's going to turn him into like a little coin, like a little Bryce Young pancake, dude. Oh, man. Oh, guys, I'm a little slap happy after our big W at Lambeau. I'm not going to lie. I've been riding this high all week long, and it's been awesome. I'm going to ride it right into Sunday, man. I can't wait. This is going to be a great game. Ford Field's going to be rip-roaring, rocking, and ready to roll, you guys. Let's go, Detroit Lions. Big W coming. Week 5 against the Panthers. Comment down below if you haven't already. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell. Share this around with your friends because I can't grow unless you share it around. That's going to do it for me. I'm Hat and Beard. He's B-Rad. You guys have a good rest of your week. Stay out of trouble. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And frig off!